Hello, thanks for clicking. I'm Mark Morse. That was a little, that bird was a bird that came to my ring cam in my backyard a couple days ago, and I just wanted to use that footage. So that's why there's a bird in this video. And then at the end, I have a little footage of my dog Elsa, who I've had for 8 years. But that's not what this video is about. If you've been watching closely, which I know you all have been doing, you know that I have won a contest from the youngest members of the VC. And the contest was called, I'm going to get it wrong again, but I'm going to try to get it all in, the youngest members of the vinyl community Mega Vinyl Bundle Contest. That sounds about right. I won that contest with my award-winning entry. Anyway, the great thing about winning that contest is I got 5 records. And so I wanted to go through these records. I've had a chance to listen to them all now, and I'm excited to talk about them. And I just wanted to thank Jenna, Dylan, Marichen, and Emma for these records and letting me be part of the contest. I'll link to all these people below and more. One of the things they were promoting in this contest was the youngest members of the VC Take New Jersey series. And it's a 5-episode series. It's on Dylan's page, The Record Spinner. I'm going to link to episode 4, and you'll see why later. But let me go over these records I've won and talk about them a little bit. A couple of these records I've heard before, and this one in particular, I bought this record when it first came out in, I think it was 1977. I think I was 15 years old when this came out. It's Queen, News of the World. It hit me in the face, dear Lord. Look at this. Anyway, this album cover art is by a man named Kelly Freeze. This is originally a science fiction illustration he did for Astounding Science Fiction in 1953, and he redid it to put the members of Queen in here. I'll put a little picture up what the original looks like, but I've always loved this cover. And I actually bought this for my niece recently. I'll put a little picture up with her and her mom in this album. My niece was intrigued with this cover, and so I bought it for her. I don't know if she's listened to it yet. Look at this thing. Just beautiful. But let's get to the music on here. I have the original that I got when it first came out. Unfortunately, when I was in junior high school, I was not the best at keeping care of my records. I did all those things you're not supposed to do. I stacked them. Sometimes I wouldn't put them back in the sleeves. I was a real lazy dude. And so I'm so happy to have a clean, fresh copy. And this thing it sounds amazing. It comes with the lyrics. Look at that. Everything about this album artistically is very good. Now, I talked to Brian from Embryonic Robot lately about my love-hate with Queen. I tend to love early Queen, and then as they get older, I don't like them as much. This album is one of the ones I really like. Probably one of the last I really liked a lot. But there's a couple songs on here. It's the big ones on here is We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. I don't mind We Will Rock You so much. We Are the Champions. That song has always annoyed me. I'm not sure why. I think it's every time I hear rock stars sing about their trials and tribulations, I always feel a little alienated from it. What's funny is on this album, there's a song called Sheer Heart Attack, and Queen, of course, have an album called Sheer Heart Attack. This is a Taylor song, and I really love this song. This is probably my favorite song on here when I was younger. Maybe still is. I just love the sound of this. All Dead, a Brian May song. Spread Your Wings was very inspirational to me when I was a kid. Side 2, it starts off with Get Down, Make Love, which is a Freddie Mercury song. That was a song that was hard for me to really enjoy. You know, when you're 15 and it's I should read the lyrics to you, but I don't want this video to go on forever and ever, but it was a tough song for me to listen to in my room, knowing that my parents, especially my mother, could hear this song. There's some very suggestive lines in there. It ends up with My Melancholy Blues, which is a nice little tune from Freddie Mercury. But this is a great album, and I thank you so much, guys. Let me go on to the second record. So this is the second record, the Cheap Trick debut album. This is a record I had heard before. I thought I had it in my CD collection, but I couldn't find it. So this may be the first copy I've ever owned of this, which it seems hard to believe, but I'm familiar with the songs on here. This is a great album. Cheap Trick. When I was in high school, there was a student who loved Cheap Trick, and he had a shirt with just Cheap Trick with this typewriter stuff on there. Every time I saw him, I would just read his shirt, and I would just say, Cheap Trick, Cheap Trick, Cheap Trick, which is tough to do. Thought it was Gangbusters in high school. It's kind of silly. But this is the Cheap Trick debut album, and this is really a great album because it's you know, before they polished up and stuff, it's just a great rock and roll album. More rock and roll than power pop, I would say, but obviously has that element to it. Another thing I like about it is it has side A and side 1, and the reason for that was because they did not have any B material. They wanted to make that clear. So just some great songs on here. Some odd subject matter. Daddy Should Have Stayed in High School. Kind of, oh, I don't know what the word is, but when an older man is interested in like teenage girls. Taxman, Mr. Thief, I love that song because it references the Beatles, Taxman with George Harrison, Cry Cry, and Oh Candy, which is one of my favorite songs on this album. Oh Candy, and forgive me, I forget the man who had unalived himself, but it was somebody they knew, maybe a photographer or something, and his initials were MM, and they often called him M and M. They decided, you know, we want to make this more accessible to everyone, so instead of calling it the guy's name or M&M, they went with Oh Candy, and it's just a beautiful, you know, and of course sad song. Side A has some great stuff on there. He's a whore, a gigolo kind of thing. The one that also a great song, even though it's about a terrible man, The Ballad of TV Violence, I'm Not the Only Boy. And that is in reference to a mass murderer by the name of Richard Speck. And if you ever want to see something just terribly disturbing, just look up any video on Richard Speck. Killed student nurses in Chicago. Just a very horrible thing. It was big news when I was growing up. And just a disturbing man, but it just kind of shows the subject matter on this early Cheap Trick. But I kind of like this unpolished Cheap Trick. So I love this very much. Thank you guys so much. The next ones I'm going to show, they're kind of related in a way just because they have the same producer and they were both recorded in the House of Vibes. And this was part of the youngest members of the VC Take New Jersey series. And I'm going to show a little clip from that in a little bit here. But this is from the Midnight Callers. It's called Rattled Humming Heart. And this is an album I had never heard before. I'd never heard the band before. And I've heard Emma from 8 Vinyl Low, one of the youngest members of the VC, talk so well of this album. I was very curious about it. And so I was so glad when I won and I got a chance to listen to this for free. And it is really good. I was so happy when I heard it. I mean, it's definitely power pop. It's produced by a guy named Kurt Ryle. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I think that's how I heard Emma pronounce his name in the series. Who was also a member of the Gripweeds, which we'll go on to later. But I was so excited by this album, I actually re-enabled my Instagram account, which I had taken down. I was just tired of it. But I re-instigated it just because I knew I could contact Emma quickly and say, hey, this is a really great album. That I don't know if you can see this, but right there, it is signed by the producer, Kurt Ryle. And let me show a clip of the series. This is from episode 4, which I'm linking to below, but this is from episode 4 of the youngest members of the VC Take New Jersey, and it's filmed inside the House of Vibes recording studio. So that was just one small section from the series. Like I said, it's a 5-part series, and I really encourage you to watch it. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of, they visit a lot of record stores, have a lot of little adventures, just some good friends hanging out. It's kind of a feel-good thing. And then at the end, they kind of hint, they do this every year. They go on a trip every year. At the end, they kind of hint that maybe they're going into the land of Maslow. But I'll let you watch their series and you decide what they're hinting around at there. This final one, oh, this isn't the final one. This is number 4. The Gripweeds, Trip Around the Sun. First of all, I love this little science fiction thing there. But this is another band I had never heard. They've been around forever, and I'd never heard of them before. And Kurt Ryle is the drummer for this band, and he's the one who signed my Midnight Callers record. And this is just fantastic. I really love this album. It's the side one. Side one is really good. There's I Like Her, Casual Observer 2, A Crime, and Reality Stands Still are probably the standouts for me on side one. I should have showed you the last album too. The Midnight Callers is also on orange vinyl. It's really cool. But side 2 on this album is so fantastic. I love every song on side 2. My favorite right now is Truth Behind the Lie. And this is after just like listening to it a couple times. And so it might change, but Truth Behind the Lie, dear God, I love that song. It ends with Trip Around the Sun, which is the longest song on here. Very good. I don't really want to pigeonhole this as a power pop band because there's so many elements in here. And maybe I'll link to that song, Truth Behind the Lie, just so you can hear what I'm talking about. Just very well produced, just a great sound, just these lavish harmonies. It is just good rock and roll. So this is a great album, and I'll definitely be looking into more Grip Weeds in the future. Now this last album is one that I'm sure Dylan from the Record Spinner, this was his contribution. He's a big Kiss fan. This is one I was really excited about because I've never, ever owned any Kiss. Look at that cover. Now that is an iconic cover. My Kiss story is when Kiss came out, I was a huge Alice Cooper fan. And I had, all my friends were Kiss fans, every single one of them. My feeling was at the time was, oh, they're taking Alice Cooper's gimmick and they're running with it and they're going to find all this success using Alice Cooper's gimmick. Yeah, I had a prejudice against this band when it first came out. In my teenage mind, it was always one band against the other, and I felt like it was Alice Cooper against Kiss, even though, you know, there's really little connection. And I felt like I had to be true to Alice Cooper, and I was like, people were joining the Kiss army, and I'm like, oh, Alice, I'm behind you. You know, and it turns out you can support several bands. They don't even have to like each other. You could like Nirvana and you can like Pearl Jam, even though they're not great fans of one another. But I really never really gave Kiss a chance. And so, first of all, this is just one thing Kiss are good at: great covers, great album covers. I was curious if I would like Kiss again. I really have. I've just never really listened to them, you know, except for the stuff you hear all the time, like I Want to Rock and Roll All Night and Party Every Day, and oh, Beth, you hear Beth a lot. But I've just never really gave them a chance. So I can now say that I have listened to Kiss, and I really do. There's some great stuff on here. The Love Theme from Kiss is an instrumental that is just, has a great riff to it. This album has more of a rock, bluesy kind of feel to it than I was expecting. Let me start with side 1, not side 2. My goodness, dog hair's attracted to this like crazy. But Strutter, what a cool song. What a great way to start off an album. Nothing to Lose. I really like the sound of Nothing to Lose. The subject matter seems to be anal sex. So take that with a grain of salt. Cold Gin, Let Me Know. Kissin' Time, Deuce. Deuce is another song that has kind of, you know, if I don't want to talk about Deuce too much because my daughter might be watching this, and you can look that up. Don't look that up, Lexi. I already talked about Love Theme from Kiss. That's really good. The song that really stands out on here, I was really excited about, was Black Diamond. And believe it or not, I have not heard Kiss's Black Diamond before. All I've heard is the Replacements did a version on Let It Be, I believe. And that's all I've ever heard. And I always thought it was weird that the Replacements covered that song. But that is by far my favorite song on here. It's just creative. It has a great sound to it. Just a great song, great way to end an album, and it really kind of sets up like, oh, you know, that's how this album's ending. I hope that's what they continue doing. Again, I know very little about Kiss. Sorry about that, Dylan. But I really do love and appreciate this album. I love's a strong word, just because I'm not really one of these sex, drugs, rock and roll guys. But this is a good album, and I'm looking forward to listen to it more. So those are the records from the youngest members of the vinyl community that I won in my contest, or their contest. Now I want to end this video with a little story about my dog, Elsa. Friday, October 18th was our 8th year together. I brought Elsa home 8 years ago on October 18th, and she's been a very loyal dog, a big important part of my life. Everybody that knows me knows that I take this dog with me everywhere, to most people's chagrin. A lot of people do not appreciate Elsa like I do. But I wanted to end this video with me taking Elsa out. We went to a nature preserve outside of town here. Thank you for watching, and thank you again, Jenna, Emma, Dylan, and Marichen. I appreciate it so much. I love these records. I was so hoping to win because I was so excited about them when you showed them in the entry video. So thank you so much. I'll continue to listen to these records, and I appreciate it so much. And I'll see you again soon.